What's up, everybody? My name is Brandon McCollum, also known as B-McC, and this is Nice Minds. I am with my homie, my dog, Ap the Rockzstar. What's good, my dude?
What's up, man?
How you been, bro?
I am good. Working hard, busy.
Hell yeah.
Working, man. A lot of work.
That's what's up. So let me go with a little background on how we know each other. So we actually know each other through a mutual friend that would always talk about you when we worked at the group home together. And you worked for the same group home company, but we never worked together. I just would always hear about you and shit. And
Yeah.
then we got connected online, and I was like, oh shit, this dude is dope. Because every time somebody says, yo, my friend raps, or yo, my friend makes beats,
Always.
I'm just like, all
Whatever.
right, whatever. Let's see what this is about. And I always check people out, but I was just like, damn, this dude's impressive as hell.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so we just connected off of that. So how did you get your start with music?
Well, it started probably, I would say, junior high. And I would be the kid in the back of the class not doing the work. I went to Ramsey, and everybody was just getting into trouble. And I was like the art rapper dude. I never thought about producing ever. And then I don't know, I just started listening to like my mom bought, well, that's jumping into it. But I'll say I started in like seventh grade.
What were we about to say? Your mom bought what?
A Busta Rhymes album, right? Just out of nowhere. She was just like, listen to this.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then she just was like, yo, listen to this. And ever since I listened to it, I'm like, wow, like learning wordplay and different styles. And I never knew that you could, every rap sometimes just sounds the same.
Right.
So when you heard something different, I was like, wow. And then I started listening to Tribe and started listening to Leaders of the New School. And just, I started digging deeper, back in time. And I was like, okay, this is fire. And I just started doing it ever since then.
That's dope, because I was actually introduced. My mom, she would always deny that she was the one that introduced me to rap, but she really did, because she didn't think that she liked rap, because I don't think she just like knew what it was back in the day. But like she used to bump Tone Loc and like
Tone Loc
and like Bobby Brown and Nina Cherry and like just a bunch of old school stuff. I mean, in the 80s, like when I was little,
right.
and I think it was like before she even knew what it was as a genre. So then
Yeah.
as like I just always remember hip hop being part of my life. Like it was just always it was just a natural progression. I mean, then, because I was a kid in Cali, then I got into Snoop Dogg and Dre, and of course, MC Hammer was big when I was like 6. So I got into Hammer and then Crisscross and like all that shit, in the early 90s. So it was just always a part of my life. But my mom was really the one that introduced me to hip hop too. So that's crazy that you said that your mom introduced you to Busta.
Yeah, my mom, man. I mean, my dad never was there. He was in Detroit. And so his thing was like, I would get sent to Detroit if I messed up in school, and they were listening to like country.
Oh, crazy.
So I was like, okay, weird. Black people, country music, it was weird. Detroit, it was weird. And I just was like, you know what? Let me just, get good grades. And my mom would pay for my studio time.
Oh, that's dope.
And that was like the catch. Like, okay, you get good grades and then I'll pay for your studio time. And she like got me a demo and like printed my stuff out, and yeah, it was crazy. It was cool.
So was your mom like in the industry then a little bit, or?
Well, she was in the modeling industry. She owned her own modeling agency, and at the time, she was like getting in trouble because she's like, I want to use music, but I don't have the rights to these songs. So I started making music, and she started using my music, or we'll just started just collab. My mom was my manager for a long time.
Oh, that's dope.
Until I got a little bit older, and I was like, okay, no. But I had the momager, and that was cool for a little bit. And, but yeah, she's super, supportive. But it was never like, it was more, how can I say it? Not negative, but it was more so like she would be like, I don't like this song. It was never like, yo, this is a fire song. She was just like, no, this ain't it. You got to come harder. You got to come harder. And I just kept getting better and better because of that, though. She used to be my biggest critic and fan, though.
That's crazy. I bet the pressure made you grow like crazy.
It really did, man. It really did.
When did you start making beats then?
I'm still not confident in my beats like that
What?
because I didn't start off as a producer.
I didn't either, but I started shortly after I started rapping though.
Yeah. Well, mine was well, if I started rapping in seventh grade, I probably started producing my own music like when I got into McNally.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started. Because so it was late for me. It wasn't soon. I just got into it with my producer that I was working with, and because he wasn't taking it as like he was looking at it like a hobby. You know, when you collaborate with people and they're not like their passion don't they look at it like it's a game, and I'm like, no, I want to do this forever.
And it's always the most talented people too.
Man, he's so dope. He was so dope. But I'm like, okay, you want to keep working at Walmart and Walgreens and we're getting fired from Burger King. I'm like, I'm about to do music full time and just see what happens. And it worked out, you know?
That's what's up. So have you been full time in the game then?
I've been full time, man.
That's what's up.
Shout out to POS and shout out to, certain people who just like believed in me early and would just give me advice and come over my house and be like, yo, man, you need to really be doing this, at least selling your music. I didn't know I could even sell my music. I didn't know anything. I was just like, okay, I rap, but I didn't really know what that meant. So I went to a show. I didn't even know who like POS or Doomtree or anybody was. I went to a show in like, not Mankato, but like Duluth. It was just off the grid. Like, you know what I mean? Shout out to Duluth. I'm not saying they're off the grid like that, but like, it was just
more or less, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm from St. Paul, so it was like we would never go to Duluth. But I was at a show in college in Duluth, and he was performing, and then he was smoking like a cigarette or something out back. I didn't know who he was. We just started talking, and then he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "I make music." And then ever since then, like we've been connected, and like he would just come over my house and in the hood too, bro. Like he would come to like, he was on Selby and just like, he just would come to the hood and people would be like, that's your boy. Like, and then he would just invite me to things and all my friends would go crazy. And I never knew, like, still to this day, we make fun of each other all the time. I don't know not one POS song.
Really? That's crazy.
Not one. And like, he's helping, like I'm about to help produce his new project and all this stuff. And I've never heard, I can't say I never heard a song, but I can't like quote lyrics or nothing. We're just
That's
like
crazy.
real good friends, We don't even talk really about music. It's just kind of like, how is your family? How are you doing? What's next for you? I go on tour with him sometime and I'll go to a couple shows and, we support each other.
Because he's got some bangers that I think you'd like.
Yeah, no, and all my friends love him. You know what I mean? I just never met him like that. Like, I mean, I never was introduced to his music like that.
I was a huge fan from like 04 probably, up until like, I don't know, recently. But yeah, I mean, I think I opened for him in St. Cloud once at this little ass venue that my buddy and his mom started, and it was in St. Cloud. It was this little rinky dink venue back in like 06. And he played, there's probably only like 30 people there, but I mean, POS came and killed it and just ripped it up in front of like 30 people. And it was the most like, he had
Shout out POS.
The crowd of 30 people just jumping. It was dope.
No, their shows are insane. Like, I didn't even know it would be like, it was packed. And I'm like in Duluth, and it was just weird. But I was like, okay, so there's a market in Minnesota, and that's something crazy too, that there's a market there's so many, like, how can I say this? You have like your sound set, Atmosphere, Doomtree over here and stuff. You know what I mean? And then you have, Laserbeat, everybody over here. And then you have like this underground hood rap Minnesota thing too. And it was, for me, I was like in the middle.
Yep.
Because I could rap like that or I could go like that. So it just kind of left me like, damn, man, how do I get signed to like a Rhyme Sayers? Or will I just be on the street, passing out mixtapes or, you know what I mean? I didn't really know. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck everything. I'm gonna just do it all by myself. You know what I mean? Like I'll take support and I like collaborating with people. But for me to be the best me, I honestly just have to do it myself.
Yeah, there is like a weird disconnect between like the rap styles in this state. And
Right.
it's really odd because I've always just been a
Yeah.
fan of rap, you know, like
Yep.
in general. Like I mean I like, you know, conscious shit, I like mainstream stuff, I like street stuff, I like, you know, everything. I
Right.
mean if
Yeah.
it's good, it's good. If it slaps, it slaps. I mean that's
Yeah.
how, you know, I mean, especially like these days. I mean, I went through my phase in like between like '04 to like 2009 where I was like all underground, no mainstream shit. Like I,
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
was on
Yeah.
the that like Rhyme Sayers wave and Doomtree.
It's funny you say that because what I was rapping about was not that. So I remember being in the studio with POS and he's like, yo, fuck artists who, act like this or whatever, whatever. And I'm like, bro, I'm that artist that you're talking about. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
Because I'm rapping about this shit that I don't have. I'm living at my grandma's house at the time and I'm rapping about Bentleys and shit. And he was rapping about people who would do that. I mean, granted, I was younger, you know what I mean? But it was still kind of weird at times because he was super like conscious, and I was super just, on the whole other opposite shit. But yeah, it worked out and he's dope and he's still super supportive like of my career.
That's crazy. So, what made you decide to move? Because you moved to Houston a few years ago. What made you like finally jump out of Minnesota?
I was kind of like watching my grandmother, right? She got into some and she ended up passing away. So POS came over a couple of days before she passed away, and he showed his condolences and shit. And I remember talking to him a few days after that. I went to New Orleans, and he was on tour, and he's like, "Bro, why don't you just get out of there? You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be easier for you to pop in a different market. You know what I mean? Because in Minnesota, I wasn't, conscious or boom bap or real, real like hip hop. So my mom and dad, shout out to my pops, he works at NASA. And he would always say, "Yo, calm down, like let me give you a tour of the city." He's from Houston. And I was like, like I'm from the Midwest. Like I wasn't thinking of the South like that. I went to school in Marietta, Georgia. I lived in the South before in high school, but I just didn't want to go back to the South. I want to stay home. I love St. Paul. I love where I'm from, bro. So I'm like, I want to stay here, but nothing was cracking for me. I was just kind of like, I know I'm dope, but I don't think people are gonna get me yet at that time. And I didn't even get myself, to be honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do, really. Take it serious or because I didn't know what taking it serious meant. You know what I mean? What's taking it serious when you're 19 or 18 and you're thinking you can, go on tour and it just didn't seem like something possible really. So my grandma passed and I just didn't have anything really there. Like you said, the group home, I was doing that, but I'm like, that still wasn't, that was, it was fun while it lasted. Anybody in the group home business, they know that you can turn it to fun. I had a blast, bro. Some of the best moments ever has been working with clients and, working with people that you meet. I met a couple people through there, you know what I mean? And still I'm cool with them to this day. And there's people from back in the day that I don't talk to them no more, but I still talk to everybody from the group. You know what I mean? It was like a vibe. Everybody was cool. We were young and getting some money, and it was cool. And so I ended up just saying, you know what? I don't have nobody here really attached to me, no girlfriend, no none of that. And I was just like, I'm gonna just take a chance and just go. Now I don't know music shit, so I can't lie to you like, oh, I wanted to leave Minnesota to go pursue this dream. I just left because my friends really weren't my friends no more. I was like losing faith because as I got older, I'm like, okay, nothing's working. I dropped out of McNally, dropped out of college, and was like, you know what? I don't know what I was going to do, so let me just go to Houston. I've never been to Houston, bro. I literally packed up my little weak ass Passat, hopped on the road, and drove all the way from Minnesota down through Iowa, down through all that to Texas, and never came back. Never came back, bro. And just life got better, So it turned out to be a good move, man.
And then you moved to Portland. Was it earlier? This year or was it last year?
Earlier this year in March.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
that shit was very like that was weird. You know what I mean? Because that was like from Houston, it was all black people, all. I didn't see no white people in Houston ever. And then moving to Portland, that's like a city that's like even whiter than Minnesota. And I was like, wait, what is like, it was a culture shock. And I didn't know anybody. Now I love Portland. You know, it's kind of like just making anywhere. You can put me anywhere, bro. I have to create, you know, I have to collaborate. I have to just be around like-minded people who do the same shit as me, you know?
That's what's
So
up.
yeah, that was left field for sure.
How was your LA trip, man?
The LA trip. God, man, I don't even know what I can say about that. I can say it was amazing. And I can say that it was life changing and just seeing like stars, bro. Like you never see it from St. Paul. And you're like, wait, that's the person from and then I meet there's this artist named Jameson. And if people don't know about him, they should check him out.
Oh, he's dope. I've been familiar with him for years.
He's fire, man. And I meet him at a party in Hollywood. And I'm like, wait, first of all, I'm in a party in Hollywood. I'm from like St. Paul, and there's no like parties like that. Like it's very, I don't know about how you grew up, but my shit was not like, it was just kind of a normal life. You know what I mean? Like normal life. I didn't grow up in a fucked up neighborhood. It was just kind of normal. I went to Groveland. You know Groveland?
It's in St. Paul?
Yes, in St. Paul. It's an elementary school, and Ramsey and Arlington, and just I was just normal. I grew up normal. And bro, I'm at this party and I'm just seeing all these people. And so my connect, he introduces me to Jameson's publicist. And he's like, oh, this is AP. He writes, he's a producer, and he raps. And he was like, oh, okay, my name's Christian. And I just left it at that. Whole time I'm thinking, bro, you know, sometimes, and this is something that people should know, fake it till you fucking make it, bro.
Yep.
Not fake it like fake who you are, but just, it's okay to, I don't know, like maneuver without I don't know. I'm a big fan, right? I was a huge fan. I knew who he was. I had him on my playlist. Like we were just listening to him. And when I met him, I acted as if I didn't know him like that because I didn't want to be, oh my God, Jameson. Like
Right.
I'm here in LA for me. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to meet people, connect, and just be cool. So I introduced him. I mean, we got introduced. We watched the show together and found out he was like super cool. We exchanged numbers. We were going to do lunch, but I had to fly out. And he was just in Portland last Saturday, called me up, got me tickets to a show. And now we're working on some new music, and it's just fire to be like, damn, bro, like that LA trip was amazing. I could say that. And a lot of like label stuff came up too that I can't talk about, but it's definitely 2022. Yeah, bro, it's going to be insane. That's why I don't quit this shit. Cause I'm like, damn, man, I'm not where I want to be yet, but it's right there. And this is this is what people miss when they make it. The grind, bro. So I'm just appreciating the grind right now.
I got hit up by a buddy that's Grammy nominated recently, and so I got some shit in the works that's might be crazy. So remind me to talk to you about that when we're done with this, because I also think 2022 could be lit.
I love how you switch up your style, bro.
Oh, thanks, man.
That shit is fire. That I feel like with me, I'm kind of not in a hole or I have my own lane. You know what I mean? Like I'm not competing with anybody. I really just love to see people work and that don't sound like everything else. And I think your shit, because I don't heard you make some beats or just, that was like, oh, he can do that too? Or, oh, is that techno? Oh, is that, you know what I mean? Like, I like that you can switch it up, like me, because I like to switch it up too.
Thanks, man. Yeah, my style's all over the place because I mean,
it really is.
Like I told you, like I don't listen to one type of rap, man. I mean, I'm into that, like, old chop sample Kanye style from back in the day. I'm also into, crazy hard bust your shit open trap beats.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm also into like, 80s pop, so I've been making like 80s bangers lately, and it just all depends on my mood really, And
yeah, man.
I don't really, and like you, like I don't sit and make music with a lot of people. I'm like by myself. Like I'm like in my own zone, So like I don't have a lot of outside like opinions on
Right.
the shit that I'm creating. And um sometimes I miss that like working in person thing, but at the same time it's like I feel like a lot of people are making what everybody else is because they're in the studio with people all the
Yeah,
time, and
man. Yeah,
everybody's like, giving their opinion on what they're creating. And I think it just
yeah.
kind of that's why a lot of people say like things sound the same, I think is because everybody's just trying to follow trends or follow what their buddies are doing or whatever else. And I've never been on that.
Nah, me neither. Never. Even when I was in school, and that's where you get most of your like influence, right?
Yep.
Just everybody's rapping, and I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I was like, I'm better than everybody at this lunch table, bro. You know what I mean? Like, then I started thinking about it. Like, I think I'm better than what I think I'm. You know what I mean? Like, there's a time where talented artists, I mean, I guess everybody in their own senses, if you're creating, create. You know what I mean? Even if it's trash, just create that shit. Like, just make your music that you make. If it comes from the heart, bro, just make that shit.
Yep.
You know, because at the time, I mean, my style and what I've talked about has changed. So there's growth in all that shit. But I'm just like, I just felt like, damn, man, like I'm writing. That's when it really hit me when I started writing my own stuff. It was just kind of like, damn, I do have a style. You know, I didn't know what my style would be. Would I rap fast? Would I rap slow? Will I rap like, am I rap about happy shit? Am I sad? What is my thing? So then when I just started rapping, I'm like, damn, I can do this and that. And then I started being like, damn, I'm better than some of the rappers that I like that were famous. I'm like, you know what? I need to just stop playing and just do this shit, like for real. And I'm again happy that I did it, man. And I want to change my style more. So when I listen to you, I think it's dope because I'm like, damn, he produces. I'm fairly new at producing, but I'm like really trying to get into it, and I admire that because I'm like, damn, I want to learn how to make some techno. Damn, like I know how to play the guitar and shit, but that's like on some rock shit, and people don't know that. Like rock Ap the Rockzstar is because I really like got guitars over here and playing like bands with white boys, really raging like for real punk rock rap type thing. But that's
That's that POS influence, I bet.
right, right, yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, and that's dope too. Messing with people that are just so open to, he don't care about what it looks like to, people. He's just gonna put out what he puts out, and that's kind of what I'm doing, man. I talk about just everything.
Hell yeah. I do feel like you have a style that doesn't sound like everybody. You definitely have your own sound, and
I
that's what
appreciate that.
I think that's what makes people great. And that's, when they have stuff that like, yeah, it has, you could tell who they're influenced by, but at the same time
Mhm.
it sounds like them, and nobody else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
All the greats, like everybody that's like really, really great, they don't sound like anybody else. They have their own flavor and
right.
their own sound, and I think that's what makes us, original. And
Who is your inspiration?
oh man, all over the place. I mean, uh I would say from back in the day, Tupac is like the goat for
Mm.
me. And then always Kanye.
The Donda Project.
I liked it because my mom passed,
Right.
this year, so there was stuff on there where I was like it brought me to tears.
You can relate to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could relate to it.
But ain't that the dope thing about music though? It can help out so many people you
Oh
don't even
yeah.
know. You're just rapping about what been through.
So yeah, I mean all over the place. And then like for, R&B and pop, I mean like I've been listening to a lot of Weekend. I've been listening to, I mean, Frank Ocean.
Oh, I love Frank
I wish he
Ocean.
would put out some new shit, but
Man, I'm good with the old shit too, man.
like I'm always listening to shit, whether it be
Right.
just samples or like other people or like whatever.
Do you ever be out like at a restaurant or like in the elevator or some shit and you just Shazam because you hear a sample that
Oh yeah,
you
all the
might hear
time.
some shit and you're like, what the fuck? I was at this Japanese restaurant with my roommates and I was like, wait, what is that sound? And I Shazam and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with this later. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
any sound that I hear, I'm thinking, can I flip it?
Yep. Me too.
Can I flip
All
this?
the time.
I'm watching was it the Netflix show, the games, Squid Games,
Oh yeah, the Squid Games one.
and
Yeah.
I'm hearing little things. I'm like, yo, I can use that or everything, bro, everything.
Same.
I always want to flip shit, and that's the
Same.
new producer in me. Because, like I said, I didn't start doing it till like after college, and that happened because my friend he ended up working with an artist that I introduced. I'm gonna say names, bro. Fuck it. You
Oh,
said
that's
I could
fine.
be real on
Yeah,
this
no
show.
doubt. Yeah.
Lioness. Do you know who that is?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so shout out to Lioness. We fell out. Even to this day, like we don't fuck with each other, but I still think she's fire as hell. I'm a fan. I love all her shit still. She's dope. But I introduced her to my producer, and I don't know if it's because she was like torn with atmosphere or something, or I don't know what happened. But my producer started acting funny towards me and started working with Lioness, and then all her shit started saying we were called the Warriors, right? And we worked with the Cool Kids from back in the day. You remember the Cool Kids?
Oh yep.
Yeah, right. So we signed with them. We moved to Chicago. That's some other shit. But at that time, I was like, damn, she kind of stole my producer. So I don't have a producer. What the fuck am I gonna do, bro? So then I said, you know what? I learned, I knew what he was doing, kind of, because I would try to just fuck around with it because he would always be at my house fucking around with it. But when he like snaked me, I just was like, let me start doing this shit myself. And now my shit sounds better than his shit. So I was like, you know what? It all kind of works out all the time. You know what I mean? But you got to go through them bullshit ass moments. And, you know, being in the industry or just fucking around with any type of music, man, people can be snakes.
Yep.
People can, you know, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit behind the scenes, man. But for me, I just wanted to always be able to make music and not rely on anybody to help me with that. You know, like, okay,
Facts.
I lost my producer. I'm not gonna instantly just go to YouTube and find some beats. I need to make my own shit. You know,
I like that you didn't just start ripping beats off of YouTube, bro. That's my
right?
pet peeve, bro. I mean, as an engineer, as somebody who like has recorded random artists here and there, like when
Right.
somebody brings me a fucking YouTube beat, I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
But you know what? My thing was this: I would hear songs on like SoundCloud, and I would purchase it. I was a
That's
purchaser.
dope.
If you hear a song that of mine on YouTube, it's because I actually went on the dude's page, paid the $100 for the beat, you know, so you can use it for a mixtape or something.
That's what's up.
But for like an album, a project like this album that I'm working on now, it's 80% me and then 20% other producers that I actually like collabed with. So
That's
it's not no internet beat. And if it is, it's because I sample certain things. You can buy packs and you know all that. So yeah. But yeah, lost my producer, man. She stole my goddamn producer, man. I was out here in the cold all by myself, and that's when I moved to Houston. I was like, you know what? I'm about to just go crazy, man.
How has the craziness of 2020 and 2021 been for you? I mean, have you been just locked in making beats? Like what's been up?
Everything fucking sucks, bro.
Right?
Everything sucks now. like,
Straight up.
like it's just everything just kind of went to shit, bro. I lost family members. I lost friends. I was gonna get married, lost my fiance.
Oh damn, I'm sorry, bro.
Bro, everything was bad. Like everything was bad. It was horrible. 2021 sucked. And I remember 2020, I was like, damn, nothing can get worse than this. And then 2021 happened and it got worse. So now I don't even talk about 2022. I'm just happy to be here and be alive and be doing what I love to do at this point. Because you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, man.
Yep.
So I'm focused on the now, not the future. Definitely not the past because I didn't like the past. The past was fucked up too. I'm happy where I'm at right now. You feel me? Like now's the time. I don't working on the album. I'm a father. That's a beautiful thing. I'm in a new city still. It's still new to me. You know, I got cool people that I can reach out to help me I'm still learning, bro. I'm learning about Pro Tools and recording myself or booking time at an actual studio. And so I can say that in 2022, I just want to learn more, because
Hell yeah.
sometimes when we do our shit, we think that we got it already. You feel me? Like we feel like we already mastered this shit when it's like, no, I work with people that are signed and I'm like, bro, you're playing the instruments that I want to learn. So just like perfect. You're playing it perfect. Why are you still going to these like seminars and why are you still reading books on the piano when you sound like goddamn Beethoven? And he would tell me, yo, just never stop learning. You know what I mean? Never stop learning. Even when you're the ultimate shit, you're never the ultimate shit. You know what I mean? Like you're never gonna know every single thing. So cram that shit.
I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee, and I was just watching one of his videos today about curiosity, and he was like talking about how we never stop being curious, and I feel like that's always been my approach to creativity is like
Yeah.
I'm not against any means of creativity. So like some people are against like using loops. Some people are against using like certain technology or just the different things that people call cheating or whatever. And I'm like,
Right.
bro, like I'm just curious about all the tools and
There's no cheating,
there's
man.
no cheating.
Oh, I do have a question, not to interrupt.
Oh, what up?
What do you feel about I've been noticing this lately. Like I would listen to not even just Kanye. We could say Drake. Well, that's typical. We could say who's an artist? Okay, let's just say Kanye puts out an album and you go on Spotify, right? And you check out the credits. And for the writing, you'll see like 7 people. And I've been seeing this on a lot of for like producers / rappers. You look at the production and it's all these producers. And I'm sitting here like, damn, do I really like Big Sean? Or do I like the writers? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm doing 100% myself. I'm not having anybody engineer it. I'm not having anybody rewrite this shit. People don't even record. I'm doing it myself. All this shit myself. So when I see producer Ap the Rockzstar, writer Ap the Rockzstar, engineer Ap the Rockzstar, I love that. But I'm starting to see people and just having tons of writers. And how do you feel about rappers having writers?
I'm very like iffy about it, especially with rappers, but like
Yeah.
Dr. Dre never wrote his own raps.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's certain rappers that like you just never write their own shit, but
Right.
but yet they like orchestrate everything. So like
Yeah.
Kanye, for example, like the reason why he has 7 producers on a track or whatever, and is because he'll hear something and he'll be like, oh, I like that. It's the same thing with like when he was digging for records back in the
Right.
day. So he would like, he samples all these producers essentially. So like
Right.
he'll orchestrate everything and like he'll take stuff out that he doesn't like, and then before he knows it, he's got freaking 7 producers on there.
Right.
But it's all a process.
What do you feel about the writing part though?
The writing part though, I don't know. I mean, if somebody's writing all your lyrics,
Can we be a fan of the rapper still?
yeah, I don't know.
Because at that point,
you're just a fan of their voice. I mean, their vibes.
let's switch genres, Rihanna or something.
Well, I mean, classically, pop had songwriters though.
Right, yeah, and that's fine. That's fine because they really don't even care about who's writing lyrics in the pop world. Nobody gives a fuck who's writing
Right.
the part. You know what I mean?
With rap, it's different.
But it's like, who's the entertainer? Who is this image? So, okay, Rihanna has aesthetic, like, okay, she's this person. But she might not know how to write music. She might just have the voice and the look. But is it cheating? Not cheating, but does it really count if you're not writing it yourself?
That's a good question because I think at this point, like everybody knows that Drake doesn't write a lot of his shit, you know. So
Right.
like, and I think for me, it's I'm a fan of the vibes. I'm a fan of the voice. I'm a fan of
Right.
the. So I don't know. It's a tough thing because as like somebody who is a fan of MCs,
Mm,
you know, I very much am like write your own shit. Me personally, I would never have anybody write for me. Like
never.
if I say a rap, like I'm writing it.
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like if it were a hook or something and I was collaborating with somebody,
That's
then
fine.
that's different. Yeah,
That's fine.
then that's
I'm
fine.
totally fine with collaborating with people because I see, if they have a feature, it'll say their name too. But it should only, for me, it should only say two names. You know what I mean? It should be you and that person's name. It should not be these unknown. And if you're a writer, get your money. Be a ghostwriter. I'll definitely be a ghostwriter. If Drake wants a verse, he got it, bro. But my thing, nobody can write for me. I wouldn't even write that. I wouldn't even rap that shit, bro.
Yeah,
If I'm not writing it, I'm not rapping.
yeah, same.
Because I'm a fan of getting on this phone and just really just writing. You know what I mean? Well, typing, but I like that better.
Well, that's how we both started too. I mean, I started writing lyrics, you know, when I was like 15, 16. That's what I
Yeah.
started with. And then
Yeah.
started making beats like a year or two later. But,
Right.
you know, like
Yeah.
I'm a fan of lyricists. I'm a fan of, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a fan of like that real hip hop shit. But at the same time, like I'm like I said, like I'm also a fan of vibes. I'm also a fan of music. So it's really just
Right.
it's a tough situation, especially these days, because it's changed. But you know what I have beef with? I have beef with people who call because the term producer has gotten thrown around so loosely these days. When it's
Right.
like yeah, there's 7 producers, but motherfucker, those are beat makers. Kanye is a
Right.
producer.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Dre is a producer. Like him or hate him, Diddy is a producer.
Yeah.
They're people that orchestrate the shit. You know, they
Right.
get everything, all the sauce together.
Yeah.
They're in the studio directing artists.
DJ Khaled's not making the beat.
Yep.
He's not writing the lyrics. He's not rapping. He's not doing anything but producing. You got to go back in the day, Jimmy Jam,
Yeah, Jimmy
Terry
Jam and
Lewis.
Terry Lewis and
Right, where people
Quincy
are
Jones.
like, okay, they're not in these videos like that, but they're getting the behind the scene check. You know what I mean? They're writing for people and producing for people. So I don't know. I always thought a producer was just, like you said, a beat maker. But
Yep.
now that I'm actually producing, I'm like, yo, I like this artist. I like this artist. If I put them together, make the beat, bring it over here,
Yep.
help them write it, I'm producing.
Facts. Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you 1,000%
Yeah.
on that. Because a lot of people say they're a producer, but don't know how to make a song.
Right. Yeah. The last couple songs that I ended up releasing was a solo song of mine and then one that we just released as Nice Entertainment. But it had like 6 each. Both the songs had like 6 people that ended up contributing to it. I
Right.
like for my solo song, I wrote all the lyrics, but I had somebody sing it. I had somebody play guitar, somebody play bass. I had somebody play drums.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody play keys. I did a few things, but I fucking produced that shit. Like I'm not gonna
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna give those people like producer credits. I'll say like guitar by so and so, blah blah blah. But I fucking produced that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it should be like that.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and then but that also raises like because back in the day, certain beat makers wouldn't even get credit because
Oh
like the
God.
old Dr. Dre shit, it would say produced by Dr. Dre, but a lot of that old shit, like in the NWA days, like DJ Yella made that shit. In the Death Row days, it was Warren G and Daz making all those beats, but Dr.
Yeah.
Dre was like the face of it, and he was the orchestrator.
Still people like that just got this big face, and you're like, damn. Wait, Timbaland didn't do that beat? When you look it up, you're like, oh, he didn't even do that.
I just wish the term producer and beat maker was like a little more used separately, and I wish that the people credited would be credited for their what their contributions were instead of as producers, because
Right.
not everybody is a producer, you know.
Not everybody is a producer.
So
Man.
yeah, man, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Back to your shit. Your album, Gnarkill that you came out with. That shit is fire, bro. So how'd that come about?
I appreciate it. Okay, so with Gnarkill, I was, and this is something that people shouldn't do, but I was competing with my last project before that called Suddenly.
Suddenly, yep.
And because I started getting a lot of people that were like, yo, this is your best work yet. It's your best work. And I'm like, damn, how do I top my best work? And then I just said, you know what? I'm going to just put out a project that feels good to me. And that's something that I can listen to. It was like I wasn't thinking about people with Gnarkill. I was thinking about myself. Will I ride around listening to this shit by myself? Would I want to share this to the world? Like, but I didn't care what the world thought. So that project is probably my favorite because I was able to just, and then think about it, like with all the stuff that happened in that little period of time, moving and losing people and doing this and doing that, you're like, damn, do I even want to create? But that shit was so like therapeutic for me. And I'll have a little bit of humor in some bars or, and that's not for nobody, that's for me. Like when I'm making music, I'm not even thinking of really about people. I'm thinking about, will I listen to myself as this rapper if I wasn't this rapper? You know what I mean? Like, will I like me if I didn't know me and I just came out randomly? And with the music I've been creating, I would listen to me. I had to stop asking for people who's like, what do you think? What do you think? I don't care anymore. Like I have a formula and I like the shit. So even if people don't support it, listen to it, I don't care. I'm gonna be doing this forever, bro. Like this is what I do. I'm never gonna stop making music. So Gnarkill was dope. But I feel like this next project is my best work that I'm about to drop. November 24th.
What's this one called?
This is called If There's a Hell Below.
That's a dope title.
And it's fire, bro. Yeah, you'll get it before they get it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'll definitely email it to you. And it's probably 80% done. 80%. I just have to go to the studio and mix and master everything, and then I'll be done with it. But it's like about 13 beats. I probably produced 10.
That's what's up.
And yeah, it's no features. Just all me, just spazzing on that bitch, man. Like, yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's a lot more lyrical, a lot more lyrical. Yeah, it just shows growth. You know what I mean? And I love to grow with this music shit, bro. I was listening to a song of yours 10 years ago on YouTube.
Mine? You didn't even know, like, we didn't know of each other? You knew who I was?
No, I didn't know who you were, bro, but it was 10 years ago. And I looked on my YouTube and I saved it. You know how you can save videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
And the song, I might can pull it up right now, bro, just to show you that I'm not
that's
playing.
Crazy.
Scream You're Invisible.
Scream You're Invisible, yeah. Holy shit.
Bro, that was in my saved shit from like 10 years ago.
What?
From 10 years ago.
That's when we did the music video, was 10 years ago.
See?
Was it the music video or was it just the audio?
It's the music video. It's the whole thing.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. You just blew my mind.
10 years ago. So I was like, damn, I was on to you before.
What?
Yeah, man.
Bro, I had no idea. I produced that shit. So like you know how it had guitar on it? It had my buddy screaming on it.
Yeah,
so the dude who actually screamed on that, you know who Modson is?
Yeah.
Modson was in his band. So they were Four Letter Lie was the dude who screamed on that track, and Modson was their drummer before he went solo and like started his rap shit.
Wow.
So yeah, that was like one of the first songs that I like. I mean, I made a bunch of beats on that album, but that song was like, I had my buddy play guitar on it. I had actually my ex, who it was kind of about, she played like the string part and like the keys on there. And like, yeah, so my buddy drummed on it. Like that was like my first like kind of orchestrating and producing.
Yeah, man, you been fired, bro.
Thank you, man.
I was up on it early.
I appreciate that. That's crazy. 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago. I was 21, bro. Where did you shoot that joint at?
So there's two shots. So the first part where like I'm wearing black. So
Yeah.
like I'm wearing black in part of it, I'm wearing white in part of it. So the one where I'm wearing black was like September of 2010, and that was do you know Anoka? Like the town of
Oh
Anoka.
yeah, yeah, no, okay, yeah, yeah.
So there's like the main street, like 169 and Main Street. There's
Okay.
like nobody really knows, like there's like a bridge right there, and the river's right there. But like under the bridge, there's like this dope like grimy like there's like tags and all this stuff. So we shot there, and then like the girl that I had in the video was my manager at the time. I ended up having a falling out with her, and like stuff happened where it just didn't get finished until the following year. And then I had started dating my girlfriend actually that December, and then she was in the video, so she's the one that you see in the video.
Oh, okay.
And so we shot the rest of it in June, which was 2011, which is 10 years ago. And then we dropped it, and that song was actually like 2 years old at that point, because
Whoa.
it just took forever to get the video done and shit.
Ain't that dope? Like progression wise, like going
Yeah.
back to what we were talking about is like I was using you as a reference that you know it's progression because your shit don't sound the same from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like you obviously get better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you don't, that's when it's the issue. And then you got to start coming back and start thinking like, why am I? You know what I mean? If it just always sounds the same and it's just for me, I started out and it wasn't good, bro. My shit wasn't good. But I was just like, because I was trying to sound like everybody else. But then when I really started tapping in and finding my own style, that's when everything just got better. And just like you're progressing. Just like me, I'm progressing. And, I'm sure people that we work with, you got to start from, somewhere. So it's dope to see your growth too, bro.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm 20 years deep at this point, which is crazy. And
Man.
at 36, I'm like, I should have, like, with all the setbacks and failures that I've had over the year, like I should have been quit by now. But like
Me
something
too.
is like I got to keep going, bro. Like I poured my whole life into this. Like I'm not stopping.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know, like I don't know if I'm gonna be rapping forever, but I know for sure I'm gonna be making music and I'm gonna be producing forever. And as long as like I have ideas, I'm gonna keep rapping. And I don't know if like that's my main serious thing that I want to focus on, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna stop that because I still have ideas. I still love it.
Think about that every day.
Yep.
Seriously, I think about that every single day. Like, damn, bro, am I getting too old for this shit? Or just I hear other people's shit pop and I'm like, that popped? Like, what am I doing wrong? I think I got this shit, but I can't stop. Because sometimes it's about networking.
Yep.
It's about who you know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It don't matter like all the fucking talent. You got the most talent in the world, bro. But if you can't get a meeting or like how do you
Facts.
you know what I mean? Because that machine, bro, like we hate it, but it really is gonna help.
Yep.
It really helps, especially if they're supportive of you pushing your message and what you want to put out, and you ain't gotta, you know, uh, kiss ass in the industry, and you have your own space to create. But people do that all the time. We just don't hear about them, and not necessarily doesn't necessarily mean that they're not on. A lot of my friends are on and worked on Young Thug's new album, and they really just live, up the street and are regular. I'm okay with that type of fame. If rap doesn't work out for me, I'm okay with that as long as I can produce, as long as I'm around music, because I'm gonna do music forever, like you said.
Yep. Yeah, as long as you're doing what you love. I mean, success is subjective. I mean, success is like only what you make it to be, and
Yeah, man.
as long as you're doing what you love and you're happy and you're making the moves that you want to make, I mean, that's all that matters, bro. I mean, like
Right.
you said, like you making music for yourself, not making it for other people, and like what other people what other or caring what other people think, and just doing it your
Right.
way, and just making sure that you're progressing. And that's something I really realized. And you mentioning that you were a fan of Screaming Invisible is just blows my mind. It's like up until the last couple years, I was kind of at like I never thought about quitting really.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever been like I'm quitting music, but I was like, how the fuck am I gonna make it? Over the
Yeah.
last like up until like the last couple years, and the
Mhm.
last couple years I've really like, and since I started this podcast too, talk to like-minded people all the time. I really started to realize I'm like I've been doing this. Like I've been
Bro, you
contributing to
already made
people's careers. Like
it.
I've been
Right.
making it. I've been looking at the progress, and I'm like I can finally see the progress, and I'm like there's no way I'm quitting this shit. And especially like
Never.
now with my mom, passing, I'm just like I got to do this shit for her,
You gotta. You got
I
to.
got to keep it
You
going.
gotta keep going, bro. Because that's what the same thing I said about my grandma. Because she was the person that would let me be on the drums down in the basement 2 o'clock in the morning, coming home drunk from Billy's, and I'm just beating on the drums and just, any even younger than that, I was just my family allowed me so much creative like space. You know what I mean? Where some of my friends couldn't do it. They were fucked up positions, and you know, and their parents weren't really supportive. But I seen your mom be super supportive in your career, just like mine. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you definitely got to keep going, man.
Yep.
Because that's one thing that keeps me going. Because I'm like, damn, I know my grandma's like, yo, it's finally happened. You feel me? So yeah, man, hell yeah. And I was also gonna say, this is left, but you brought up my son,
Yep.
right? And me and my son worked together. And ain't it crazy how he went from like fucking nothing to like a fucking star now, bro?
He's dating Avril Lavigne, bro.
Like, what the fuck, bro? And not like, listen, shout out to my son
Shout out
because
to
he was
Matzo.
another
Damn.
person that would. I'm sorry if I'm rambling too,
Oh
bro.
no, it's good. It's cool.
He's the type of person that gave me a shot when I was working with the cool kids because they ended up doing some shady shit, and that's when I really learned about the industry. And I remember coming to my son and through a connection, see, gotta have them fucking connections.
Yep.
Through a connection, this chick that was running like a magazine or something in Minneapolis reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I got this opportunity with my son. If you can come to the studio now." So I go in there, and he gave me a chance, and he learned about the things that I did, and he was like, "Wait, you made I'm Dogging by Sir Michael Rocks? That's my favorite song right now." And his friends was like, "Yeah, man, you listen to it every day, man." And I was like, "Oh shit, this came out of my grandma's basement." You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy that he gave me a shot too. So shout out to my son too, man. He went from I seen him hosting the Minnesota Awards or something like that back in the day, and he was just a nobody. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a cool dude like that. Like nobody, he wasn't big in on the scene by any means. But like he hosted and he was still cool then, but he kept the same attitude. Like, I don't know, I haven't like tapped into him now. Like he done got too fucking famous that it's next level. But I
That's
love to see
crazy.
somebody from our hood, you know what I mean, make it. Cause it shows that damn, there's a market. And his music wasn't sounding like anybody else's. His shit was just on some other shit. And he fucking made it. Sometimes it's the image. Sometimes it's the how can we sell this shit? Maybe I'm not as marketable. You know what I mean? So, but dope to him. That's fire to him.
I actually knew Modson too. I recorded at his studio, Blooming Sounds, back when it was I don't know if it was the one that you went to, but was it right off of Washington in that like red building in Minneapolis
It was in Minneapolis. I think it was a red
North,
building.
and it was like a red building, and it was like a cool like little like
It was a
hippie
cool
spot.
setup, wasn't it?
But yeah, I went and I recorded one of my tracks, and at the time he was only charging maybe 20-30 bucks an hour or something like
That's what
that.
I'm saying, bro. He was
But at the time, like I was broke. So like I couldn't even afford that. Like I couldn't really afford to go back.
right.
Like, and so like, but I could have kept recording with him, and who knows like what, if I would have built with him or whatever, but
Or maybe it wasn't meant for you to get on
right.
that way.
Well, I think about that too. Yeah. I mean, if I would have blown up back in the day, bro, I would have made stupid
Oh,
mistakes. I would have probably had like 10 kids. Like I probably would have like, had like
my mom says the same thing. My mom says to me like, "Yo, if you would have popped in high school, you would have been a one hit wonder. They would have forgot about you. You would have signed some bullshit, and then you would have got fucked." Like, to put it like that. But yeah, so it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. That's on God's time. You know what I mean? We really can't force it, man. That's why I'm still doing it and taking these trips to LA. I'm like, damn, if I'm out on the West Coast, let me make the best of it, or Pacific Northwest, but let me make the best of it. I drive 16 hours to Cali whenever, like, and I'll be there for a week working through connects, through, just every time you go down there, you're meeting new people. And now I know Jameson, and now I know this people working with Post Malone, and damn, now I'm meeting, you know, Ray Strimmerd and just all these people. And you're like, damn, like it's the company you keep, right?
what are your last words that you want to leave the people with?
Find your Utah, and I'm gonna break that down. You know how Kanye like goes to fucking Utah, right?
Wyoming, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Wyoming. It's okay to disconnect from the world, especially in the days of the phone. That's like super pro, but so many cons to this shit. Don't give a fuck about likes. Don't give a fuck about views. Cause I'm in meetings with not a lot of views. The views don't matter. It's who you know. So I'll leave them with that. Fuck the views.
Facts.
Fuck the numbers. Don't get into the numbers. Don't get into a popularity contest. Make your dopest music that you can make, put it out, and let the universe do what they want with it. That's what I leave it with.
Wise words, bro. Man, it's been great talking to you, man. I know you got big things ahead of you, and you've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
you've
yeah.
done big things, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Hell yeah. And I'm a big fan of you. And I'm happy that you had me on. And I've been a fan for 10 years and I show proof. So yeah.
That's insane, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
All right. Tap in anytime, bro.
Same to you.
Peace.
Peace.